Southeast Asia is all about bold flavours and Moorish comfort food. Eating out is ingrained in its culture, but perhaps not for every day. I'm Jeremy Pang, and here are my healthy street eats. I'm here with Dr. Leslie Tay at Maxwell Food Centre, and he's going to take me around, show me all the cool stuff.
That's right.
Can't wait. Let's go for it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So this is a snack.
Okay.
So you've got a batter.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you've got the minced pork.
Minced pork, is it? Yeah.
Fried.
And so it's minced pork and oysters.
Yeah.
Celery. And then peanuts on the outside.
Yes.
And Uncle, do you think there's a healthy way to make this? No, that's my challenge, right?
Good food is not healthy, that's all.
Good food is not healthy. I got a real challenge.
Yeah.
Can we
On
dig in?
video? Yeah.
Yeah?
Fine. Yeah, a bit of the chili. Let me grab that. Oh yeah. The moment of epiphany. If it wasn't so unhealthy, I'd be eating this every day.
It's okay for cheat day, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you can't have this every day.
Oh.
Super crispy on the outside. Almost like the dough is like melting inside,
Yeah.
but works with the oyster as well.
Yeah.
The minced meat gives the savory flavor,
Yep.
and the coriander just lifts it.
Yep.
Oh
Perfect.
my god, that is like the perfect
And
dish.
don't forget the peanuts.
Yep.
The peanuts actually.
And the peanuts give it a
yeah.
crunch.
Yeah, give it a crunch.
And that nuttiness, that's a real challenge for me now. So he started with eggs and oil? Or,
Eggs with oil.
or
yeah.
oil or lard?
Lard.
Lard. Oil and lard. And then you told me this about the story. So Hokkien Mee is like a Singapore noodle dish, really
Yeah.
classic Singapore.
Yeah, invented around the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, by coolies who just gathered around a wok
Yeah.
on the floor.
Okay.
They just build a fire on the ground.
Yeah.
And they put a wok on it and they start frying
I love that sort of
Yeah.
cooking, like really rustic,
Really just rustic.
on fire, in the floor,
on the floor.
lots of lard.
Yeah.
Not good for you, but you can certainly do a healthier version. And then you put rice noodle as well.
Yep, it's a mix of.
So it's a mixture.
Okay.
I can see why it's tasty, but that's quite a meal. Okay,
This is the real key. Lots and lots of garlic,
lots of garlic.
right? Just when you're finishing off.
Yeah. Soy sauce, fish sauce,
and lots of the
lots
stock.
of prawn stock.
Yep, you fried it so dry.
Yeah.
Now all the pores are open. Its stock goes in and
Punch all the
just-
flavour into the
yeah,
noodles.
it just absorbs.
That is fantastic. So that punching of flavour into noodles, that's where you can definitely mimic that at home, but just
Yeah.
perhaps use a little less lard or just swap out the lard for oil.
You can get a whiff of that.
Oh yeah, it's a very distinct prawn stock smell.
That's Hokkien Mee. That's the Hokkien Mee.
I just learned something completely new about wok cooking that I've never seen before. I love it. It's slightly overcooked noodles, but in the best side of ways. What I really love about Singapore and the hawker centres is that the hawker chefs have this really calm and relaxed attitude to their cooking. Singapore food is an eclectic mix of Malay, Chinese, Indonesian, Indian, Singaporean food itself, all in one and combined together. Some of it healthy, some of it definitely not so. So it's my task or challenge to see what healthier versions I can cook at home. So we're back home and I've picked two dishes that I just thought were absolutely brilliant. So I've gone for the Hokkien Mee, but actually the Hokkien Mee I'm going to cook pretty much like for like, except I'm going to swap out the lard for oil. That's an easy one. Oyster Pancake for dish number 2. The guys in Singapore had no confidence that I'd be able to make this dish healthy, but I've perfected it, I think. So let's check it out. So the Hokkien Mee for me is all about the prawn stock. I've made this with a base of ginger, garlic, spring onion. Just fried it off with some onion as well. And then all we do is fry off your prawn heads and shells, top it with water, boil it, bring it to a simmer for about 20 minutes. That's it. Simple as that. So my noodles, I've got two types of noodles, just like in the hawker center. We've got your egg noodles and your rice vermicelli. both of them been soaked in hot water for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the thickness. And then most importantly, I've dried them again on a clean tea towel. The drier the better, so when I'm frying it, it doesn't all sort of stick together. Next up, your vegetables. So I've got some Chinese chive, my gao chai here, in lengths. It's very simple preparation. Just straight onto a plate, ready to go. And then a bit of garlic with your chives. My bean sprouts I've already washed. And then my prawns, I've just peeled and used the shells for the stock, and then just deveined with a fork. So I'm going to get my prawns in, blanch them, and they'll be ready to put into my stir fry at the end. 1 to 2 minutes is enough because they're going to come back into the noodles again at the end. And that's ready for later. So we're going to start with my egg and then my bean sprouts and chives. A little bit of oil instead of lard. Egg goes in. Crack that yolk and start just mixing that around and scrambling it together. You have a nice ripple of egg white and egg yolk. Bean sprouts, along with the chives, can go straight in. I'm on a medium to high heat here, which again is different to my everyday wok cooking, but I do think it's almost like a braised noodle dish, and that's what makes the Hokkien Mee. Now, my wok is clearly not as big as Uncle's wok in the hawker center, so I'm going to remove my vegetables onto my service plate first, just to allow space for my noodles. Might need a little bit of oil to help those out. And again, we'll start on a high heat, but bring that down to a medium heat. I want a good handful of egg noodles. I don't want to overfill my wok if I can help it, because I've got my other noodles coming in too. So bring that down to a medium heat. So I'm going to slowly cook these off, allow the pores to open, as Dr. Leslie explained to me. So my vegetables have got some moisture in there. That'll cook the noodles through quicker. Get those really stirred into the noodles. Right, my noodles have a familiar look now. They're kind of wilted into the wok. Definitely softened a lot. And that's just from the moisture of the vegetables and cooking them for a good amount of time. 4 or 5 minutes of frying before I then add my vermicelli. My guess is that the vermicelli comes in at this point rather than at the same time is because it's much thinner. So vermicelli in. And this movement here that I'm using, what I like to call the tummy and the head. Round and round, back and forwards, round and round, back and forwards. Round and round with your spoon or ladle, back and forwards with your wok. And if you sort of watch carefully, you'll see that your egg noodles start to sort of change color a little bit, go a little bit more dull yellow. That's when you want to start to add your flavor. So it's just changing color now. I'm going to make space for my garlic and then my seasoning. Last bit of oil. I've got garlic ready, some fish sauce, and then my prawn stock to go in quick succession. Garlic in, fry that through. Keep it moving though. Your fish sauce, about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Mix that around nicely. And this is just to lift anything off the bottom of the pan. A little dash of prawn stock first, and then continue cooking. From here on in, high heat. What I'm trying to do right now is just get underneath the noodles rather than break them up too much when the liquid goes in. And if you see any drying at all, at that point, that's when you're on a high heat and you're going to pour a good ladle or so of stock over the top. Bring that to a vigorous boil. Now what I'm trying to do here is just cook this through until all that stock is soaked up by the noodles. Almost there. Whoa, it's bringing me back to the hawker center. Now you can hear it starting to sizzle up because my stock is all evaporated or soaked into the noodles. At that point, switch it off, prawns can go in. ready to serve. So if you want a little pinch of salt, it shouldn't need much at all because of the fish sauce. Absolutely delicious. The big thing about this is it's all about the savoury. Pack that flavour in from that fresh prawn stock and it will come out beautifully. Next up, my healthier version of that oyster pancake. Some chopped up celery, some spring onion, a little bit of coriander, all ready to go. Pork mince I'm going to season up a little bit, just with a pinch of salt and white pepper and some sesame oil. Give that a good mix through. So then my oysters, I've actually got quite large oysters here. I know the guys in the hawker centre use sort of more baby oysters or smaller oysters. I'm going to go for one oyster in one pancake. But cleaning your oysters, there's a little trick to that, and that's bicarbonate of soda. So I'd usually leave that for about 10 minutes or so. Just let that sort of soak in the bicarb and then give it a good rinse through. So once you've cleaned your oysters, I like to sort of dab them dry, just with a bit of kitchen towel. The drier the better, because then it doesn't sort of interact with the moisture of the pancake mix too much. Onto the pancake mix. So there are numerous different types of flour in this mix. I've got some rice flour as my main bulk of flour, some self-raising flour, and then some plain flour and some baking powder. The idea with this is when I bit into it, it's crispy on the outside, but it's kind of fluffy on the inside. So that baking powder is going to help with that. And then I'm putting some corn flour or cornstarch into this mix as well. That should hope to sort of crisp it up even more, because I'm not deep frying my oyster pancake, I'm pan frying it. Aside from that, we're going to season that with a bit of sea salt, white pepper. So I'm going to go for just enough water to make it to a sort of just thinner than porridge texture. So start relatively heavy on the water just so you can actually start to make a batter. It's still too thick, so just a little dash more. So I'd say for me, by eye, that's a good texture. The last thing I'm going to do is put about a teaspoon of oil into that, because I want that to crisp up from the inside out. So you want your pan to be a medium to high heat. And you want enough oil on the base, but not too much. Once that oil is nice and hot, I can fill that pan. Then I'm going to pour my first layer of my oyster pancake on. So then what you want to do is you layer up your filling ingredients into the pancake. Make sure you get an oyster into there. It is an oyster pancake after all. And then a good bit of your spring onion and coriander, some celery, your peanuts. You pop into the center there. And then over the top with a bit more of your pancake mix. So when I turn that, that should hopefully keep everything inside. It's a little bit more rustic than how we had it in Singapore, but this definitely works a treat. So once it's gone halfway through, you're going to turn it. It should be nice and crispy on one side. And then just press into it gently. The texture should be really nice, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Very little oil required to make the same dish, and it will taste delicious. I can't wait to tuck in. So my question is, have I managed to get that crisp outside with a soft inside? And you can see it's got that sort of gooey texture inside from the oyster. Absolutely, that is delicious. You get crunch from the peanut, but with the oysters inside just perfectly cooked, and the sort of softness of the actual pancake mix. It's bang on. I'm not missing the deep fried at all. You know, street food Not only is it about the food, the ambience, the culture, but it's also about sort of that sharing and enjoyment of food in itself. But there's no reason why you can't have that at home. So even if some things may look like they can't be made healthier, I believe there's always a way to do it. And cooking at home is the starting point to living a healthier, longer, better life.